Hello, what's up? Welcome to She Who Dares Wins. It has been a while. Today's video is all about what my day typically looks like as a construction engineer stroke land surveyor and I guess general business owner. So without further ado, let's get into what a typical day for me might look like. Firstly, like most people that work in construction, I'll be up pretty early in the morning. I'll try and grab a coffee, and then for me, it's just straight out onto the open road. Normally up before anyone else, around about 6 to 7:30, typically getting to site between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. Once on site, it'll pretty much involve me getting myself signed in and then cracking on with any work. So getting kitting up with all my PPE, hard hat, high vis, etc. and grabbing any tools that I need for the job in hand. The morning pretty much involves getting the bulk of information or survey data that I need on site. This generally involves a lot of walking and picking up points and making sure that I have everything that the client needs and wants. And again, this can take anywhere from half a day to a full day, but on this particular day, it was just a few hours in the morning. What I did then was pack away and head back down to the office where I needed to check some information on some drawings, because I was also giving the guys on site some setting out information for some drainage works. So typically after a break, I would head back into the office, sit down, grab all those drawings out and go through all the information and write that down in my notebook, ready to go and have that conversation with the guys on site. This leads me up to around about lunchtime, so I typically take a break of about half an hour to 40 minutes at lunch, if that's at all possible. And the reason being is you sometimes need time on site to decompress, especially if you've got a lot of information that's running through your mind. So I'll normally take myself away from site and grab some lunch, and again throw on some music or a podcast and try to escape any thoughts that I have regarding work at this time. Then back on site, because that time goes really quickly. So on this particular day, the client decided that they actually wanted and needed some more setting out information. So I would spend the rest of the afternoon heading to certain stockpiles to measure up and give them a quantity and a volume of what material they had on site. This took me to around about 3 or 4 o'clock. And the working day is still not over. So I jumped back into my truck and I headed home. Now for some engineers in construction that are employed by a company, this might be the end of the day for them, typically a little bit later, around about 5 o'clock. But for me, I have to get back because I have to process survey information for the client on the computer using CAD. But also I run a business, which means I have other clients and I have things that I have to do to keep my business running, like looking at accounts and making sure that all my paperwork is in order. This is the perfect time to mention that this video is actually sponsored by Sage and Tradify. And I want to talk a little bit about how Sage Accounting, along with their integration partner Tradify, has made my life in my day-to-day work a lot easier. After a long day on site, which you've seen today, when I get back from the office, I want to make sure that I can get all of my work done as quickly and efficiently as possible. And that's where Sage comes in. It helps me with tax structures, creating and tracking invoices, tracking cash flow, accepting payments and recording transactions. Everything's automated and is really easy to use. Sage integration with Tradify makes my life so much easier, as I can manage my team's schedules, get paid faster, and decide which team member to send out onto which job. Back to more about my working day. This will be typically towards the end, so it's time to unwind, maybe plan a little bit forward for the jobs I have tomorrow. But I like to down tools, as they say, relatively early and go and try and get some time in playing with my kids before they go to bed. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a like, hit that subscribe. And if you've got any questions on engineering, construction, surveying, or owning a business in the construction world, go ahead and type those down below and I'll do my best to answer them. I'll be back real soon.